Good evening and welcome to this meeting of the Santa Fe ISD Board of Trustees. We believe that it's important that this meeting be conducted in an organized and sufficient manner. And to that end, would like to outline some ground rules for all of us to follow during the course of the evening. First and foremost, you should recognize this is a board meeting. By law, most of the discussion and all of the voting must be done in open session, but public participation by necessity must be limited to that part of the agenda that is reserved for public input. Occasionally, the board may seek comment or clarification from an administrator in attendance or even from someone in the audience. It's the board's prerogative to seek information from non-board members as it chooses. However, unsolicited participation from the audience is inappropriate. Secondly, at times may seem we're voting on issues of importance with little or no discussion. Please be advised that all board members get a packet of background information about the various subjects on tonight's agenda several days in advance of actually coming here to participate in the meeting. After receiving our packets, all board members have and often exercise the opportunity to contact various school administrators to ask specific questions in an effort to better understand the issues on which we're expected to vote. We thank you for being interested in your school district as witnessed by your presence here tonight. We encourage your active participation in the educational process of your children. We appreciate your cooperation in helping us conduct the business of the Santa Fe ISD in an organized and civilized manner, and we hope you enjoy the meeting. Okay. Mr. Rothmill, would you lead us in the invocation, please, and we'll do our pledges?
Sure. You please bow your heads with me. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and the opportunity to be here tonight. Father, we pray that you'll be with the board tonight. Give us the guidance and wisdom we need to make the right decisions for our district. Heavenly Father, we pray that you'll be with our students, teachers, and staff. Watch over them and keep them safe. Father, I pray that you bless everyone here tonight. Give us all a safe journey home. For this we ask in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor to Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
All right. Okay, do we have any action needed from our closed session?
No, sir.
All right, that we will move into our recognitions. Ms. Hansard, while we're getting ready for you to get started, I would like to tell everyone that this past Friday night, the Brazosport ISD, Brazos Wood folks invited some of the administration and board to participate in the football game with them down in Brazosport, and we sat with some of their board members and administration and had some good conversation with those folks. But they had us go out on the field, and they, the high school presented our high school with a check for $2,800 and some odd dollars, I don't remember, to use just as a way to say they were thinking about us, and we very much appreciate it. And we've drafted a letter, Dr. Wallen and I have signed this letter that we will send to them. It was a really neat process, and we're getting some feedback from some other schools that they intend to do similar things just to show their support. The kids, they made up special shirts for Santa Fe. They wore ribbons. They did all kind of neat things. But the one that really got me was at halftime after our band played, their band went out on the field and played, and they played the Santa Fe fight song for our students and us that were there. So it was really neat, and we very much appreciated it. Ms. Hansard?
Yes, sir. This month, this district will recognize the outstanding achievements of our students and staff in fulfilling our mission and preparing our students to achieve and succeed. The campus principals have submitted the following students or individuals for recognition for the month of September. During the 2017-18 academic year, Santa Fe students from 6th through 12th grades competed in the National History Day program. Over 60,000 students across Texas participate in this program. Santa Fe represented our region by sending 15 students to the state competition. Chloe Splon, and Chloe, if I could get you to come forward, please. Just come right here, Chloe. A sixth grader competed in the historical research paper category against sixth, seventh, and eighth graders from all around Texas. There were over 40 papers submitted to the state competition. Chloe finished fifth in the state of Texas for her paper, Emmeline Pankhurst, Battling for a Woman's Right to Vote. We are extremely proud of Chloe and look forward to her watching her research and writing skills blossom even more as she prepares for this year's National History Day competition. Congratulations, Chloe, and please accept this recognition certificate from Representative Greg Bonin. And Chloe, when you finish, we're going to ask that you go across the hallway and have a picture taken. And we're going to ask all our people who are recognized this evening to do that as well. The high school would also like to recognize their state history contest participants. They're being presented certificates tonight from Representative Greg Bonin as well. These students are being presented a certificate of recognition for placing third in the senior division group exhibit category. They are, and please come forward as I call your name, Elena Dondonay, Brooke Hillman, Aaron Werner, and Cole Young. It is official. State of Texas. Congratulations, Cole. Congratulations, and we're very proud of these students. The high school would also like to recognize Jacob Andrew Hoff. So Jacob, if you'll come forward. You can make your way forward, right? Jacob received his Eagle Scout Award and 2 Eagle Palms in a court honor ceremony on June 9th, 2018 at the Breath of Life Community Church in Alvin. Jacob has been very active in scouting for 11 years and is a member of Boy Scout Troop number 603. We are extremely proud of Jacob for achieving this honor. And now we have some individual honors. The high school would like to thank Greg Smith, and I saw him, Greg, if you'll come forward, please, from Tate's Home Decor and Custom Print Framing, and Tanya from Street Graphics. Is Tanya here? I'm not sure. Okay. For donating the beautiful memorial picture and frame to the high school and the district. And the one of those is hanging here in the boardroom. But so thank you so much, Mr. Smith, on behalf of the district and the high school. A special thank you is also extended from the high school to the Hildebrand family. So if they would come forward, JJ and Stacy, Danielle and Jasa, for donating the memorial bench that was placed right outside the office at the high school campus. And if you've not been on the high school campus to see that, it's really a very beautiful bench that they have done. So in appreciation for that, we have a certificate for you and your family.
Thank you. Sure. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, JJ. Thank you, ma'am.
And lastly, this evening, the high school would also like to thank Ross Pilkington. I don't know if Ross is he here. He's the owner of Indian Automotive for opening their doors and property to hundreds of students and staff on May 18th. And they'd like to thank them for their kindness and compassion. And Ross is not here, but we'll make sure that he receives his certificate. We appreciate our Santa Fe ISD employees who work to provide our students every opportunity to achieve and succeed in education. Please join me this evening in celebrating, thanking, and congratulating the following Santa Fe ISD staff as they are honored as Employee of the Month for September. For R.J. Woolham, Shannon Davidson. Dan J. Kubicek, Carrie Thomas. Santa Fe Junior High, Linda Janis. Santa Fe High School, Danielle Hildebrand. Transportation Department, Seth Crampota. Seth, you can come on this side. For Maintenance and Operations, Gary Gray. Our Custodial Department, Poppy Razor. From Nutrition Services, Martha Delphin. Congratulations and thank you for your service to our students and the district.
Thank you. Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations, ma'am. Good job, sir. Okay, thank you, Ms. Hansard. We will now move into our information items. Dr. Wall, I think we have some monthly reports.
Yes, sir. We have monthly reports for your review this evening, and we will also have a few reports, one from Mr. Atkins, updating our new school and district projects.
How y'all doing this evening? So on a new school project, weather has hit us really hard. So last 2 weeks, we haven't got a whole bunch done, but they've got a lot of material there ready to go. And the weather today was the first day they could work in 2 weeks. Area B, where first grade is going to be poured Thursday this week if the weather holds out. You'll see that's right next to where the structural steel is now. And then area C will follow that. Those are the two areas of the slab that are remaining to be done. You've seen, if you've driven by there, structural steel's up on 2 floors in area A, and then the CMU in the back is where the cafeteria and gym and all that are done. So they're moving along as best they can with the areas that they had poured, and we just need some cooperation from the weather, and we'll be in good shape. The high school, they are still working. They worked the last 2 weekends to get things done that we allocated from the summer. They sanded and stained the stage floor in the new dance room, and then also out in front in the cafeteria over the weekend. They've got another coat to put down and some urethane they'll do next weekend. And then we can get that class into that area next week or the following week. The new doors in the back hallway, those will be installed into this week or this weekend. So those are coming soon. And the painter's still painting along some of the areas that they're painting. NCS is working on getting our electric strikes to our gates. The gates are operable, but we're waiting on them to pull the cable. All the raceways are there, so should get those in the next 2 to 3 weeks installed. The fire alarm system's in the design phase along with the PA system, and so those will be installed starting in the next few weeks. And it'll take 8 to 10 weeks, 12 weeks to get those completed. We may have them be able to work during school hours, which will speed some of that up. So we're going to work with them and work with the school to see how that works. Any other questions?
Any questions for Bob?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
sir.
Thank you. Mr. McKinney is here this evening to provide a report on transportation and some safety initiatives, I believe. Yes?
Do you hear?
There he is.
He was late getting here
Okay.
for transportation.
Grand entry.
So some of the things that we have going on in transportation, addressing security issues, we are looking at adding some programs and some measures that increase our security. One of them is we've written a grant with a company named Zonar that provides data that's on the bus. It provides entry and exit data when students get on or off the bus. It also gives us real-time GPS to locate the bus, which we have a radio base. This is much more accurate. It has an option for parent app that would notify them when their child is on or off the bus and also let them know how soon the bus is going to be to their stop so they can track it and be out there when the bus is arriving. So that would just be a way to increase communication. Also, at the end of the route, it would, if anybody failed to check their bus for students at the end of the route, there's a little disc in the back that they have to go back and scan. If they don't scan that, and they shut their bus down, we immediately get a text and an email letting us know that that bus hasn't been checked. So just another layer of accountability other than the 2 we already have for that. Also, the REI systems, the camera systems we're on, we have them on 21 and 23 buses when the 2 new ones show up supposedly this week. And we're phasing those in. They have Wi-Fi access points, meaning we can access the video from my desk. No one has to go out and pull the hard drive. A driver has an issue on the bus, they can hit the button for an event and it will automatically download 7.5 minutes either side of that event. So, and that'll just be waiting on our desk for us. The big sell in it is that it tells us that there's problems with the video security on the bus before the bus goes out. It does a daily health check, and if something's not working, we get a report on it. So that's the big add to it, is that we find out before we need it that it wasn't working, and so we can address the problem. Also, it has better cameras, 180-degree cameras that can look down into these high back seats. The camera in the front on the bulkhead that took the long view doesn't really work very well with the high back seats, so we've had to adjust and get better cameras that look down into the seats. And that's one of the things we get with this system. And as our older systems break down, wear out, we have problems, we're replacing them with the newer systems. They don't last forever on a bus that gets hot and cold and rattles down the road and sits out in the heat and then is in the cold, and is exposed to dust. So these are better, more robust and stronger systems. Also, the Vera Mobility is a company we're working with to revive the Stop Arm program that we talked about a couple of years ago. I understand we have a little maybe friendlier reception on city council now for the Stop Arm program to be revived, and so we're pursuing that again. And the company was formerly known as ATS, and they've been in the business for quite a while. And lastly, we're looking at upgrading our facilities and seeing which way we can make our facility more secure, along with fencing and gate options and when we leave gates open. And additionally, October, over the fall break, we've invited TSA to come out and do a base assessment of our facility and our procedures. And it's pretty much an all-day thing. So we've done it on a day when the students aren't going to be there, so we can just spend all day with the TSA and them picking us apart and making recommendations.
I think this is a great time to remind all of us that bus safety is very important, but as you participate in safety meetings at work or whatever groups you may be involved in, just a friendly reminder, because this system that he's talking about, when we looked at it a couple years ago and ran a few tests, there were hundreds of violations in a very short time of people just driving right past the buses with the red lights flashing and the stop sign out. And on some of our narrow streets, we all know what that can lead to. So it's just a good reminder to talk that up with folks. Any questions for Dave?
Thank you.
That's it.
All right, anything else on the monthly reports?
No, sir.
Not, Ms. Belitsky, I believe you have a delinquent tax report for us.
Hi, good evening. Tonight, Jason Bailey with Purdue Brandon's office, our delinquent tax attorney, is here to present the 2017 tax collection report.
Good evening, Board President, board members, Dr. Wall, administrators, and distinguished guests. I want to thank y'all for giving us a quick opportunity. This is the same report you've seen, just different years, so I'm going to go through it fairly quickly. But if y'all do have any questions, feel free to ask at any time, or we can ask questions at the end. Sorry, I'm a digital immigrant and not to adapt. There we go. Thank you once again. I want to thank Robin and her tax office. Y'all have an excellent tax office. Robin and her staff work diligently to collect the taxes, help us collect the delinquent taxes, and work with your citizens on all different types of issues. The most recent tax year that was turned over to us for collection was the 2017. As we know, the taxes are always kind of a year behind. And in October 2017, the district assessed and levied the 2017 taxes, and the initial bills were sent out. There was $18,604,875 in base tax that was levied by the district. They're due upon receipt of the bill. They're delinquent if not paid by February. That's the penalty that the district begins to collect for people not paying their taxes, and interest that the district also receives. In May, another delinquent statement was sent out by your tax office for anybody who had not paid. And on July 1st, all the taxes were then turned over to our firm to pay, and an additional penalty was added on top of the penalty that the district receives. And that's how we get paid. When I collect the taxes, I collect the base, the penalty due to the district, the interest due to the district, and the penalty that gets paid to our firm. The tax office did an excellent job. They were almost 96% collected of all the taxes that were assessed, leaving us $776,910 to work with. I've only had it for 2 months, just got turned over in July of 2018. This pie chart represents what has happened in those first 2 months. We have 39% of your taxes, a little over $300,000, that have been collected by our office. The remaining, I've broken up into 5 categories to tell you where that $474,000 is that we have not collected. You only have 1 account in bankruptcy, and that property is about to be sold. We filed the bankruptcy claims on behalf of the district as part of our services. That property is about to be sold. I'm sure that's going to get paid in October. You have $37,135 in base taxes deferred. These are people that are over 65 or disabled. It's their homestead. I can't do anything to collect those taxes. The legislature said hands off while they have the taxes deferred. So a little over 88,000 that's in litigation. Rest assured, these people were given an opportunity to pay. We don't do anything without having a letter sent that with a verified address that hasn't been returned, and tried every phone number and email we can to work through the tax problem. You have a little over 36,000 or 5% of what was turned over to us in the payment plans. These are the formal payment plans that goes by the district's policies set up by Robin and her office, or payment plans with my office, leaving $386 that I haven't collected yet, don't have in a payment plan, don't have in litigation, they're not deferred or not in bankruptcy, and we'll continue to work on those to get into those statistics that you're used to seeing on your current year collections in that first year. This pie represents overall everything that has happened in base tax amounts on the 2017 year between Robin's office and our office. As you can see, after 2 months of our office having it, and since October of 2017, you're at 97.4% of all base taxes have been collected, which probably easily has you over your budgeted amount of what y'all are trying to collect, and we'll continue to get that number higher. This represents the 2017 taxes, just quick historical purposes. The first bar is after a year, we had it at 72.3% collected. A year and 2 months, we're at 76.3% collected. This is the 2016 year. The last bar shows that after 2 years and 2 months, I've got it at 86.5% of all base taxes collected. For your 2014, after 3 years and 2 months, we have 87.3% collected. And we'll continue to work on those amounts. You can see we just keep chipping away on it. The first year is when they're fresh and we can get in there and try to get as much as we can, but we continue to work on the harder stuff throughout the years. In addition, we perform audits for the district. We work with the tax office in your appraisal district. As y'all know, the appraisal numbers are fluctuating as properties added to an appraisal roll and removed or protested from the appraisal roll. If the district can't collect as much money off the local tax dollars, then the state should have kicked in more funding. So our office audits it to see if there's been any changes significant enough to where we can show the state that they should have kicked in more money. Since November of 2016, we've only submitted one. The 2015 audit, we just submitted it. Conservative projection is going to bring in $75,000 in additional state funding. We ran 4 more, but they didn't go to the district side, so we didn't file them. So quick snapshot, those are the 2 main things we do for the district besides the property value study, and nobody has enough time to go into property value studies. We don't have to worry about that for another 2 years. So if y'all have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Any questions?
No, sir.
Thank you very much for that information. Thank you, Robin, for everything y'all do.
Thank y'all.
All right, we'll move to our consent agenda. Dr. Wall?
Sir, the following items for your consideration and approval in our consent agenda this evening include our minutes from a prior meeting, our accounts payable for the prior month, budget amendments, student transfers by policy, a hunt and train services agreement, which is a 15-year agreement would expire in 2025, so it's a continuation. Dayhill Printer renewal, which is the second year of a 3-year contract, and an FW Walton Roofing renewal contract, contingency, second year out of 5-year contract as well. So these are renewals.
Mr. President, I make a motion we approve as presented.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we accept the consent agenda as it was presented. Any other questions or comments? If not, would you cast your votes, please? Do we have the screen?
We do.
There we go, and it has passed unanimously. Thank you. Okay, with that, we will move into our regular agenda items. Ms. Hansard, you have a whole bunch of proclamations for us.
I do, Mr. Norman, and I'll just go ahead and start with the very first one and move through those. The first one is National Principals Month. Santa Fe ISD is joining National Association of Secondary Principals, the National Association of Elementary Principals, and the American Federation of School Administrators as we honor the hard work and dedication of America's principals for the month of October. Principals are expected to be educational leaders, disciplinarians, community builders, spokesmen, budget analysis, guardians of policy mandates, set the academic tone for their school, and provide a safe and secure learning environment. National Principals Month provides an opportunity to say thank you to our principals and share with the community all the great things that principals do. So I'm asking you to proclaim the month of October as National Principals Month in Santa Fe ISD.
Mr. President, I make a motion. I move that the board proclaim October as National Principals Month in Santa Fe ISD.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve this proclamation. Any other questions? If not, cast your votes, please. And it has passed unanimously. Okay.
National Bullying Prevention Month is October. The month is set aside to encourage students, parents, recreation programs, religious institutions, and community organizations to engage in a variety of awareness and prevention activities designed to make our schools and communities safer for our children and adolescents. Once again, I'm asking the board to proclaim the month of October as Bullying Prevention Month in Santa Fe ISD.
Mr. President, I move that the board proclaim the month of October as Bullying Prevention Month in Santa Fe ISD.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the Bullying Prevention Month proclamation. Any questions? If not, cast your votes, please. And it has passed unanimously. Thank you. All right, next is fire prevention.
The 2018 Fire Prevention Week theme, Look, Listen, Learn, effectively serves to educate the public that fire can happen anywhere. Fire is a serious public safety concern, and homes are where people are at greatest risk from fire. While campuses across the district practice fire drills once a month, it is just as vital that families develop a home fire escape plan with all members of the household and practice it twice a year. Fire Prevention Week is October 7th through the 13th. The district is urging all parents and staff to conduct home fire drills at least twice a year and to support the many public safety activities and efforts of our Santa Fe ISD Police Department and Santa Fe Fire and Emergency Services during Fire Prevention Week in 2018.
Mr. President, I move that the board proclaim October the 7th through the 13th, 2018 as Fire Prevention Week in Santa Fe ISD.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we proclaim the Fire Prevention Week. Any questions? If not, cast your votes, please. And it has been unanimously. Thank you. All right, how about Human Resources Day?
Yes, sir. Governor Greg Abbott has proclaimed October 10th, 2018 as Texas Education Human Resources Month, a month set aside or a day set aside to recognize and honor the important contributions made by school personnel who work in human resources. Human resources personnel work hard each day to ensure that our schools are staffed with high-quality employees and that those employees have a good environment in which to work.
Mr. President, I move that the board proclaim October 10th, 2018 as Human Resources Day in Santa Fe ISD.
I second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the Human Resources Day proclamation. Any questions? All right, cast your votes, please. And it has passed unanimously. Thank you. All right, now we have School Lunch Week.
School Lunch Week, Level Up with a Healthy School Lunch, is October 15th through the 19th, 2018. The Santa Fe ISD Yum Nutrition Department serves approximately 875 breakfasts and 1,925 lunches daily, and these employees serve nearly 645,000 meals each year, ensuring students' nutritional needs are met with appealing and delicious meals. This week is set aside to encourage all residents to become aware and concerned about their children's and their own nutritional habits in hope of achieving a healthier outlook for today and the future. Since our fall break falls within this week, the Nutrition Department has selected the week of October 22nd through the 26th to celebrate. So we're asking that you proclaim that week as School Lunch Week in Santa Fe ISD.
Mr. President, I move that the board proclaim October 22nd to the 26th, 2018 as School Lunch Week in Santa Fe ISD.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the proclamation for School Lunch Week. Any questions? All right, cast your votes, please. And it is passed unanimously. Thank you. Next, we have Bus Safety Week.
Yes, National Bus Safety School Week is October 22nd through the 26th. This year's theme is My Driver, My Safety Hero. The district's first priority in the transportation program is the safety of the students. Approximately 3,500 students are transported by 57 drivers on 40 buses with over 140 routes on a daily basis. This week is set aside to promote safety when loading, unloading, and while riding on the bus. Literature is given to students during this week to share with their parents and with the community about bus safety.
Mr. President, I move that the board proclaim October 22nd to the 26th, 2018 as National Bus Safety Week in Santa Fe ISD.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the proclamation for National Bus Safety Week. Any questions? Not, cast your votes, please. And it has passed unanimously. Thank you again. All right, next we have the Red Ribbon Week.
The National and Santa Fe ISD Red Ribbon Week campaign, Life is Your Journey, Travel Drug Free, is scheduled for October 23rd through the 31st. This annual event is one of the largest and most successful drug awareness and prevention activities in the country. The Drug Free Advisory Coalition for the Santa Fe Substance Abuse Free Environment, or SAFE program, and Santa Fe ISD request the Board of Trustees to pass a proclamation that encourages each campus to provide special opportunities for our students to participate in the Red Ribbon Week campaign. Activities that promote drug and our safety awareness will be instituted during Red Ribbon Week.
Mr. President, I move that the board proclaim October 23rd to 31st, 2018 as Red Ribbon Week in Santa Fe ISD. Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the proclamation for Red Ribbon Week. Any questions? Not, cast your votes, please. And it has passed unanimously as well.
Thank
Thank you, Ms. Hansard. Okay, Ms. Junko, I think we have a couple of trips and donation.
Good evening.
Look at.
The Santa Fe High School Tribal Bells are planning a trip to Orlando, Florida in March 2019 to attend the Disney Dance Performing Arts Workshop. There will be no cost to the district. The 24 students that plan on going will be fundraising, and they have a payment plan set up to collect the money. And then they're only charged for the actual students that attend. So if 24 decided to go and only 22 end up going, that's all that will be charged for. So we ask that you approve the Disney trip for the Travel Bells.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Santa Fe High School Travel Bells student trip to the Disney Dance Performing Arts Workshop in Orlando, Florida with Tourific of Texas at a cost not to exceed $30,576.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the Travel Bells trip. Any questions or comments? Cast your votes, please. And it has passed unanimously. Okay, I think you have a donation for us as well.
Yes, the board may accept any bequest, gift of money, or property on behalf of the district. Local CDC policy states that gifts or donations greater than $5,000 shall require board approval before acceptance. Donations greater than $5,000 are attached on the next page. That $81,600 donation is for safety equipment from Moody Foundation. So we ask that you
President,
approve all the donations.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the acceptance of the donation that's greater than $5,000 received. The total donation greater than $5,000 is $112,895.90.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the donations. Any questions or comments?
No, sir.
Not, cast your votes, please. And it has passed unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, Mr. Robbins, you have electronic switches for us.
Yes, sir. Good evening. Santa Fe ISD has been working with multiple vendors on the security upgrades throughout the district. This part of the upgrade is to provide electronic data equipment to interface with the district data and security networks. The project is to add 16 new Aruba switches, cables, power supplies to accommodate the new security upgrades and cover switches that were not replaced during the E-rate funding. The purchase of these new switches will not exceed the cost of $69,770.50. Layer 3 is a member of the Region 4 Texas Cooperative Purchasing Network. The estimate time of completion on this is 4 to 6 weeks.
Mr.
Any
President, I
questions?
make a motion to approve Layer 3 Communications to provide new Aruba electronic switches for data communications for the security system between all the district campuses at a cost not to exceed $69,770.50.
I second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve this Layer 3 communications. Any questions or comments?
I have one, Mr. President. Well, let's bring us up to date on everything as far as the switches.
Yes, sir. This is to complete our upgrade that we started back in the summer of 2017, and this will actually complete it and also provide us with the additional security pieces that we've put in throughout the past summer.
So all alarms and everything will work with these
Yes, sir.
switches. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Not cast your votes, please. It is passed unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, next we have some classroom library stuff. Ms. Ross?
Santa Fe ISD continues to reinforce our focus on literacy development for students in grades K through 2. Because the amount of time spent reading in classrooms consistently accelerates students' growth in reading skills, Fountas and Pinnell stress the importance of building a varied classroom library collection so students can develop their reading skills as well as expand their worlds. In order to provide students with an enriched reading environment, the Instructional Materials Allotment Committee reviewed and approved the purchase of classroom libraries for every classroom in grades K through 2. The request is presented for board approval per board policy as the amount exceeds $25,000. We ask that you review and approve the purchase from Heinemann of classroom libraries for grades K through 2, not to exceed the amount of $213,272.
Mr. President, I make a motion we review and approve the purchase from Heinemann of classroom libraries from grades K to 12, not to exceed the amount of $213,272.
Second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve this purchase from Hunman. Any questions or comments?
No, sir.
Cast your votes, please. And it is passed unanimously. Thank you. Okay, Ms. Oliver, I think we have an agreement with Specialized Assessment.
Yes, sir. Specialized Assessment and Instruction provides special education evaluations at all campuses in Santa Fe. These contracted services are necessary to complete evaluations in compliance with Child Find and the State Performance Plan. The request is being presented to the board approval because the amount exceeds $25,000. We are requesting that you review and approve the contracted service agreement with Specialized Assessment and Consultation not to exceed $50,000.
Mr. President, I make a motion, we review and approve the contracted service agreement with Specialized Assessment and Consultation not to exceed $50,000.
A second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve this contract with Specialized Assessment. Any questions or comments?
No, sir.
Now cast your votes, please. And it has passed unanimously. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, I believe that is all for our regular agenda items. We will now move into our public forum. Board policy provides time at each regular board meeting for the public employees to appear before the board to discuss matters concerning their interests. A time of 30 minutes has been allotted for those who wish to address the board. For the board policy, persons must sign up by the Thursday prior to the board meeting and will be allowed to speak up to 3 minutes each. Delegations of more than 3 persons shall appoint 1 person to present their views before the board. The board respectfully requires names of district employees, staff, and students not be used during the address. No action may be taken on anything presented to the board at this time. However, board members have the option to request that the matter discussed be placed on the agenda for a future board meeting. And tonight, we have several. Our first is Flo Rice. Mr. Davenport will give you a signal with 30 seconds, and then I will stop you at 3 minutes.
I would like to open with a quote from Ronald Reagan's first inaugural address. Those who say that we're in a time when there are no heroes, they just don't know where to look. Well, let me tell you, I certainly do. During the last board meeting, I watched Ms. Blundell give out recognition awards to students in extracurricular activities. It made me think of another group that has been blatantly ignored by the district the entire summer. It is this group I would like to pay tribute to. I am speaking of those targeted on May 18th, those that are with us still, and those that are with us in spirit. Some were taken from us in an instant. Others fought for their lives and for the lives of those around them. For those living in the aftermath, it requires they still walk through the halls of Santa Fe High School. I was shocked and saddened to find out that no one knows who they are. Students bump into them and make fun of them for moving slowly down the hall, completely oblivious of those with injuries and the bullets they are still carrying in their body, much less anxiety they feel walking near the art rooms and the nightmares they all share. Even with my own personal experience, I cannot imagine the horror that they went through. It must have seemed like an eternity while these students were virtually helpless and utterly alone to defend themselves. Against all odds, these are the courageous that had to fight the good fight just to stay alive. And fight they did. They held doors closed and blocked them with their lives so others could escape. And this cost some the ultimate price. They knocked bombs off of tables and kicked guns out of the shooter's hand. They lay across other students to protect them from bullets. They pried open locked doors to gain an escape route, and they ran like hell for help. They stretched their bodies between doors, blocking them closed with all their strength, protecting those inside.
30 seconds, ma'am.
Some pushed others out of the line of fire. Friends helped each other, shot and bleeding, scale a brick wall, while others used their clothes to cover and console the injured. They held and prayed for their dying friends. I do not have the words to express how proud of them I am. These are the people who have my admiration and respect and deserve yours, and that of the entire community, as well as the entire country. These are not the victims of May 18th. These are our heroes.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, ma'am, your time is up. We are,
And you can't shake their hands? You shook all the other children's hands, and you can't shake theirs?
it's not set up for them to be recognized, and we cannot be having this
They've
discussion
never been
right now.
recognized, that's the problem.
Mr. Rice, it is up, your turn now.
Now we're going to do something that none of this board or administration has had the courage to do. We're going to acknowledge the names of those that did not come home on May 18th, 2018. But first, I would like to have a moment of silence, please. Thank you.
Joseph Tisdale.
Say your mom's name.
Mother Cynthia Tisdale. Joseph, I'm our son representing her here today. I've been silent long enough.
Steve Perkins. My wife was Glenda Ann Perkins.
Sadie Bays. My daughter was Shayna Fisher. Rosie Giannis. My son was Chris Stone.
Pamela Stanich. My son was Jared Connor Black.
My name's not important. My son is Christian Raleigh Garcia, and he was a hero that day, not a victim.
My son was Kyle McLeod.
And I'm going to represent Shabika. How do I say her last name? Shake.
Seconds.
Rhonda Hart asked me to recognize her daughter Kimberly Vaughn. And Angela Ramirez.
Mr. Rice, your time is up. Thank you.
Now I'd like to share with everyone the names of the
Your-
13 injured.
Mr. Rice, your time is up.
These
sir.
are very private people that have wanted to stay out of the limelight.
Rice.
But it's been long enough, and their stories need to be told.
Mr. Rice, your time is up.
You interrupted us, and there's
Can we have?
dead bodies between me and you, and you can't step over them. So, Kobe Rosenboom, Brianna Quintanilla, Clay Horn.
Let him speak. Please let him speak.
Let him speak. Tristan Beasley. Sarah Salazar.
Finish the names.
Chase Yarborough. Courtney Marshall. Rome Schubert. Noah Silva. Abel San Miguel. Omar Juarez. Officer John Barnes. And Flo Rice. These are the people that y'all ignore. And I don't appreciate you coming to a private meeting for the victims earlier today that we didn't need the school involved in. That was a private meeting for victims. And I couldn't even I couldn't even speak because you were there
I
representing
can't
the school
speak to
district.
that, and I was only there for a few minutes.
Okay.
Thank you. Next, we have Donna Hayes.
My 3 minutes. I'm going to give my 3 minutes to Mr. Rice.
Oh, ma'am, you have signed up. Do you wish to address the board?
Oh, okay. Sure. Okay, I'm going to read for Mr. Rice. Today, my time here will be addressing the letter F. The F stands for failures. Since the mass shooting on May 18th, the school board and the administration has failed every single day for these 13 survivors and the family of these 10 lost souls. Failure 1. The biggest failure of them all is allowing a Columbine copycat month after month to wear a trench coat and carry a large duffel bag against school dress code. We know that the shooter entered the school and walked right by the office that day, just like every other day, only this day he was armed and he had a duffel bag full of ammunition. We know by eyewitnesses that he was stopped and told to get to class by more than one employee. The art room was not his class. Failure number 2, not providing substitutes the access or training needed to protect the students. The substitute teacher in the class next to the art room, Mr. West, saw the shooter with his gun in the hallway. Mr. West called the 2 emergency numbers in a folder given to the substitute. First, 3115, no answer. Then 3123, and again, no answer. He tried to get an outside line for 911, but there are no instructions on the phone on how to access an outside line. He did not have cell phone reception. As a former military police officer, he knew pulling the fire alarm was not the protocol, but he was out of options, so he pulled the fire alarm for help. This direction the shooter's focus from those trapped in the art rooms to the hallway where he fired on victims, exiting for the fire alarm. This is where Ann Perkins was shot and killed, and then my wife, Flo Rice, was severely wounded. We do not blame Mr. West for his action. The blame lies with you, the administration, and the school board that let the high school administrators run off the rails and fail miserably. Failure number 3, the school district did not provide advocacy representation for the victims. Several outside sources have told us at the meeting with the district
30 seconds.
all the victims were contacted on a weekly basis since May 18th. This was an out-and-out lie. On September 6th, I received a call from a district representative telling me she had been appointed as our advocate for the families. This was 112 days too late. Even with these undeniable failures, there are 3 board members running for re-election November. In my opinion, you are the enablers of Dr. Wall and the administration that is out of control. I'm personally here to ask
Ma'am,
each
your
and
time
every
is up.
one of the 3 to remove your
Ma'am,
name from the
your 3
ballot
minutes is up.
or resign tonight. I'm asking for Dr. Wall and Ms. Blundell's resignation, and we won't let it go.
I will not let it go.
Next, we have Leslie Darnell.
First off, I have to say that's kind of a hard act to follow. I want to thank you, Dr. Wall, Ms. Hansard, Dr. Schumann, for the meeting that you had with me and the Vice Chair of POPCC last week. The information you gave us was absolutely amazing. We know how the TEA rated us. It's unfortunate how and why they rated us that way. I know we've talked several different ways of getting those grades up and those test scores up. My son has come to me as a freshman in high school. And what he doesn't like right now, and I'm taking to a whole nother, we're on another topic right now. He is a freshman in high school. He would prefer to be learning life skills his freshman and sophomore year and worried about a career in college his junior and senior year. But he's having career, college shoved down his throat right now as a freshman. He would rather learn other things. That's an option. There's a junior ROTC program. The team has researched it. It takes an active military and a retired military to run it. The military gives the district half of that money back that is used on that program. It's there. Why do we not have anybody instructing it? I mean, it doesn't take much. Active and retired. That's all it takes to do our junior ROTC program. It's listed. I know several students that wanted to take it, but we're told we don't have anybody to instruct it. So I had the team research it. That's all it takes to run that program. And I think it's an awesome program. So, any questions on any of that?
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Next, we have Mark Brasher.
Mark Bratcher, and I'd like to understand the terminology as far as there's terroristic threat, there's hit lists defined by the TEA, but death threats and kill lists are terminologies not addressed, nor is kill list in the Code of Conduct or even in the Texas Penal Codes. It is, however, in the Macmillan Dictionary, which is a list of people who are targets for assassination. I'd like to understand what the term kill list means and where we can find it in documentation. How is a list of people you want killed different than a hit list? How are we asking our Santa Fe students to see something, say something, while simultaneously asking teachers to divert conversations and dissuade students from talking? It's part of the healing process. They need to be free to talk. And wouldn't it be better to give them accurate information rather than allowing rumors to abound? I understand that there are some things that can't be said, but also understand that there are some things that can be said. We should be promoting healthy discussions rather than dissuading the students from being able to talk. If this is all just based on a single letter by the principal who may have misinterpreted and misconveyed the information, how can we possibly know to what level the threat may or may not have been? I hate to ask this way, but prove it. Are you not supposed to be accountable? Show us the text, blot out the names, show us word for word the text that's in question. Let the community see what is now considered not a threat after receiving the letter that it was a kill list. I know that this is a forum where the board members choose not to speak and to respond to community and parent concerns, but this is a choice. It's not a law that dictates that you can't respond. You might consider changing your policies. In the wake of our town's tragedy, you may need to reconsider your procedures and policies for addressing your community. Though many of us recognize that this administration has gotten better at communication and involving the community, there's still a ways to go. These issues will continue to spring up, and we're watching to see how you guys are going to handle it. I hope that you're open-minded enough to recognize that there is still much room for improvement. Some of the ways you have been dealing with continued bullying seem to some to be swept under the rug. Dr. Wall has shared with me on a number of occasions that she is not opposed to a third-party assessment, yet it seems like it might just be lip service considering there has been no third-party assessment. Any assessment on how things are moving forward, how to improve continued safety, on a plan to improve the quality of education and how to get our Santa Fe stats up to truly represent our town's abilities. I've said it before, I'll say it again, I don't envy your positions. I can only imagine how difficult it can be to appease a town who's been so hurt. But now is the time to show our nation how to move through tragedy. We are resilient, we are strong, we are Santa Fe. Divided we fall, united we are Santa Fe strong.
Thank you. Next, we have Rosie Stone.
Well, I did come up here with notes, and I thought I was gonna do this by the book and how everybody does it and read stuff, and I just can't do it. The whole part of why half of all these people are here and the reason we're wearing these shirts is because of the 7 board members that sit up here today. Scott didn't finish what he wanted to say, but the moral of the story is Rusty, Rothamel,
Ma'am,
and
you
Skufka.
should not be
I'm
using
asking
names.
that y'all step down from y'all's position and let somebody come in with new ideas and see what they can take, what can they further with this board. I have never known y'all prior to May 18th. I've never had any contact with y'all. I have no ill will towards y'all. I have no bad things to say about y'all. All I have is my son carrying in my bag because safety was not an issue, and that's a big deal for me. It's a huge deal for me. For the board not to speak of it in 2 years, and that's just what I've went back. In 2 years, that's a big problem. This has been going on for 19 years, and in 19 years, my question to y'all would be is, how much have y'all upgraded safety in 19 years? I know one of y'all have been here for 14 years. I would like to know in 14 years how much of safety was actually upgraded. Patrick, I want to address
Ma'am,
you.
please do not use names.
The guy in the red tie, I would like to address him. He says that I was threatening him over the weekend because I said I cannot wait for the truth to come out with all the stuff that I've been searching. And I'll say it again today. He even sent me a little screenshot that says that I was threatening him. If it's a threat, I shall be arrested today. I cannot wait until the community gets all the information that I have been researching. So I'm kindly asking for all three of y'all to please let 3 other people come into the school board and see what they can bring as far as safety and education goes. Because regardless if it's an F or a D, you know that in your household, your child would be in trouble for that. So who's gonna get in trouble for this? That's the way I look at it. Nobody is taking accountability. Nobody is. All I keep hearing is, oh, well, this is what happened and that's why this happened. But whose fault was that? Whose fault was it? Somebody needs to stand up and say, you know what, we messed up and this is what we're gonna do to fix it. Not, this is what we're doing to fix it, and let's just forget what we did wrong.
30 seconds, Rosie.
Yes. And Patrick, you are correct. I do need to have a sit down with all of y'all instead of me putting stuff out on social media saying what I'm gonna do and what I'm gonna say. So everybody on the board will be receiving an email from me, and I would like a personal sit down with each and every one of you, and especially you. Thank you.
Next, we have Sonia Lopez.
Hello, I'm Sonia Lopez. My daughter, Sarah Salazar, was one of the children that was seriously injured in the shooting. She's still going through physical therapy in order to be able to lift her arm. And we're just here talking in reference to the texting that was going on with those children, with those kids. There's just a lot of parents and students that are upset over the consequences that were taken. And we feel that the offense is very serious and that we need to pay attention to kids when they are crying for help. This may be a cry for help. This may be another shooter thinking about doing something like this in the future. And the way some of us parents see it is that it's sort of like a premeditated murder. They're thinking about it, shooting names out, listing them. And we need to pay attention to that. We feel that we're asking for tougher consequences for different crimes or different offenses. And we're asking the board to investigate further into the lives of these children, what's going on with them, and their computers, their social media, and to see about giving them the maximum period allowed because of the matter that we just went through a shooting, and this is not a topic for anyone in high school to be joking about. And so it's not a joking matter, it's very serious. And we need to set an example out of this so for future generations. So what happened to my daughter will not happen again.
30 seconds.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, we have Steve Perkins.
Good evening, everyone. I am, again, Steve Perkins. My wife was Glenda Ann Perkins, which was one of the substitute teachers, murdered on duty at Santa Fe High School, May 18th, a day that will live in infamy. Last week, I received a call from a parent we know. He told me that their child was taken out of the Santa Fe School District because they were not being taught. He said they elected to spend over $10,000 to educate their child privately. He said core subjects such as math were essentially foreign to their child. And out of curiosity, I went out to the Santa Fe website and found the school report card. It showed a 2017 accountability rating of Met Standard. However, I went and did some more research, found a site called the TexasSchoolGuide.org. There I found TEA uses STAR exam results to understand how many students at each school are meeting certain benchmarks. There I found student achievement grade of a D, campus performance grade of an F, growth grade a D, college readiness grade, which I can relate to with my daughter, a D, graduation rate grade a D. It's pretty dismal. What this tells me is Santa Fe is not providing an environment conducive to education. It's providing just the opposite. I have in my hands here a document, oddly enough, dated May 18th, 2003, the same day my wife was killed. It's titled Steve and Ann Perkins, parents of Ashley A. Perkins versus Santa Fe Independent School District. I know this document is probably in your archives. It's 15 years old, but oddly enough, reading through it, which was very difficult, it clearly shows that not much has changed within Santa Fe District in the last 15 years. The document clearly shows that the school is still ignoring policy and guidelines, among other things. It documents arrogance, a complete disregard for the school's own policies. And 15 years ago, it appears things have become worse. You know, what I guess what I want to know is why isn't anybody held responsible for any of this? You know, where's the accountability? When a police officer is involved in a questionable event, he's put on administrative leave or fired. When a pilot flying an aircraft is involved in an accident, he's grounded pending investigation or his license is revoked. When a publicly traded company continues to produce below par results, the board of directors step in and make changes. Santa Fe, it appears business as usual and nothing changes. I pay thousands of dollars in money to the school district every year. I'm not seeing any return on my money.
30 seconds.
What I'm seeing is a waste, and I have a wife that is now deceased. I think it would be prudent if Santa Fe would start getting their house in order. Thank you.
Next, we have Jennifer Cooper.
My name is Jennifer Cooper. In the 1 month since school began, there have been several fights. One in front of the field house, with personnel in full view, doing nothing to stop it. No officers are posted there. I have brought up security at the field house several times. Kids continue to stand at the doors, holding them open, with no security posted. On August 28th, I brought these concerns to Walter Braun and Lee Wall. I asked that a plan be put in place for that area to better secure the students. Not only has that not happened, but our security gets more lax with each day. On September 11th at 2:50 p.m., my son and several other students left the field house for tutorials. They entered the main entrance where the guard sat busy on her phone. She waved them through the metal detectors without checking one bag or one badge. As the boys went in, they talked about how easily someone could have come in and hid guns until the next day and tried to shoot up their school again. They think that you think security is a joke, and I'm telling you that that's a failure. With pride, they endure facing the place where their friends and teachers were killed. We can't just say, if evil wants in bad enough, it'll get in. They are committed to you as your students. Without them, there is no district. Santa Fe is their home, and the last people on earth that should feel like you don't take security seriously is the surviving student body in that high school. Giving us no specifics, you tell us of the latest threats. Using minimized language with parents, you give another account to your staff of a kill list. Our community trusts to you our most precious resource, our children. You have the nerve to let out information about students threatening our children's lives, and in the same instance, you punish them without properly investigating them with a punishment that allows them back onto our campus to walk freely amongst our teachers and students in just 30 days. We say no. We say we demand you release
30
these
seconds.
texts so that we can see what was said that prompted your lack of response. We demand proper investigations be held. We have to learn from our mistakes to stop this madness. We have to run our schools attentively, with compassion and love. Stop victimizing our children by being lazy and taking the high road. Protect them like they're your own, because they are. And when you don't, we'll be here to hold you accountable. Make no mistake, we will not give up and fail these kids again.
Next, we have Kenzie Conway.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I have 6 family kids in this district, aged 3 through 17. I know many people think I shouldn't be here tonight, but your tragedy here in San Antonio doesn't affect your borders alone. I want to tell you that what started me on this plight was this mere fact that you did a thorough investigation as it unfolded before the TV screens and computers at my workplace within 2 hours of bullying. And so that's what got me started, is how can that be? And then I connect with my family and my friends, and then we start to do an investigation. This is inadequate. This last week, we had a kill list. And from Wednesday night until 10:14 a.m., when your principal sent out a letter to her staff stating that a thorough investigation had been done, how can you possibly do that? That is the second time. And Superintendent, thank you for correcting that information, that the first thorough investigation had been done too prematurely. We're tired of the shenanigans. We want truth. We want honesty. You all look great tonight, by the way, in your suits, because I haven't seen you all dressed up in your suits, so I hope that you're ready to support your incumbents. But let me tell you, some of you have done some great service on this board, and times have changed, and it's time to change some things. So I want to ask all of you, at least somebody here who's been on this board so long and you watch your district grades go down to D's and F's, I'm going to ask you to kindly have the dignity to step down and let a new generation take hold here, please. Please do that. Allow people to have a chance to make things better. And you have to care now, because your safety failed too. And in the real world, when your academics are D's and F's and your security is down so bad that we have deaths in these schools and people who are crippled for the rest of their lives, that is a real life situation. And it's time for some of you, you don't have to walk away a failure. Walk away with grace and dignity, and give some other people some chances to speak up and to step up. Please, I'm asking you to do this. And this whole thing from distract students from talking about it, remind them that they're safe, that we've already taken care of it. We took care of it way in advance. How is that, capital W-A-Y, when it's less than 24 hours that you did an investigation? Did you find out if these kids were bullying people beforehand? Did you do that? Did you do the investigation like you did the first shooting? We're tired, we're exhausted. I think some of you are mentally challenged, I hate to say it, and maybe even traumatized yourself, but I hope we all get counseling, because you know what? I'm from Dickinson, and I got family here, and I've organized community meetings for mental health. And what have you done, Mr. Red Tie? Have you done anything to support your community, to organize something for your people, for mental health? Have any of you done that? Thank you for showing up at the last one. Thank you for showing up at the last one. You, sir, have shamed your community, and that's pathetic, and it's disgusting, and it keeps on.
Okay, that concludes our public forum. We will now move into our board communication. Ms. Hansard, do you have anything for us?
Yes, Mr. Norman, I do. I just wanted to let everyone know that on Friday, September 14th, we placed a special tab on the website under the school board tab that says Meet the Candidates. And those candidates were submitted a short bio and a picture, and all of those candidates are in alphabetical order on the board tab on the Santa Fe ISD website. Each week for the next 3 weeks, we will rotate those candidates. And then the week of October 15th, we will place the candidates in their ballot positions, which they will remain until after the election. So I just wanted to let everyone know that from a PR standpoint, we have placed that on the website for you to go in and be able to view those. And other, I just have the little half sheet of events that are upcoming for up until the next board meeting. And other than that, that's all I had, Mr. Norman.
Thank you. Ms. Townsend?
Just have a great week.
Mr. Snyder?
Thank y'all for everybody coming out here. Thank y'all for everything.
Mr. Kelly?
I just want to say thank you to all the campuses. I know a lot of new stuff's going on, and I know y'all are working hard. And I can only speak for RJ and Kubitschek. I know my kids are happy, and they're coming home with more work, and I like to see that. And we're challenging more at home, and I'm glad y'all are challenging more at school. Just keep up the good work. As far as the tax office, same thing there. And to all the families affected, I appreciate y'all coming out. I know it's hard. Thank you.
Dr. Schuman?
I also just want to thank all of those that are here this evening. Many of you I've had conversations with. I've met with a lot of you. And just know that my door is still open. You can still call. I'm here to help in any way that I can. And please take advantage of that. I really mean it.
Mr. Logan?
I'd just like to also thank all of y'all for being here and letting us know how y'all feel. Thank y'all.
Ms. Gufka?
Well, I would like to say that in previous meetings, I have invited you all to continue to come out, and we really do appreciate it, and we really are listening. And I thank you all for coming and caring and saying what your true convictions are and how you feel. Thank you.
Mr. Rothenmiller?
Also, thank y'all for being here tonight. Appreciate y'all's comments, and we are listening. Y'all have a safe journey home. Thank you.
Mr. Davenport?
You know, this is a hard, it's hard to sit here. I mean, there's hundreds of you, and then there's just a few of us up here. Where my heart's at is whether I've been up here 15 years or whether I've been up here 15 minutes, it's hard. It's extremely hard, and I'm going to take full responsibility for the time that I've been here. I'm coming up on 2 years this November, and obviously, nobody can ever take away what has happened, but I do want you to know that it's not easy for any of us. It's not any easy for y'all out there. I know that. But I want y'all to know something. Without a doubt, there is a mindset that goes along with this. And y'all know what I'm talking about. If we always continue to think some things are negative, they will always be negative. We'll talk it into a reality. However, I know, let me finish, sir. Let me finish, sir. Let me finish, please. I'm asking for my turn, please. I see your shirt, sir.
Well, then vote with us,
So-
not against us. Tell us what you're gonna do.
Just continue.
So-
Can we let him finish, please?
It is, so what I'm basically saying is, it is hard, and I know that there is a lot of room for improvement, no doubt. I've said that once, I've said it twice. There are plans in action. I know that y'all are wanting more data than what can be displayed sometimes. But that does not mean that you cannot still feel that we are human as well, and we've made mistakes, and I know that there's nothing we can do to take some things back. But I want y'all to know that without a doubt, it is being felt, it is being heard, and there are conversations being taken place. I promise you. I know it's not 15 minutes.
Step down
So-
and let more qualified people have the seat.
So, With that being said, I appreciate everybody that's come out tonight, and drive safe, please.
Anything, Dr. Wall?
So I would like to say thank you to the students who are here tonight. Would y'all please give them a big hand? Lots of courage to come out. That's why we are here. Appreciate everything that you do.
Students.
Okay, we have several things going on right now. I want to thank everyone that participated in the training last Monday at Clear Creek with Dr. Tanner. I want to thank the principals and the other folks that were involved in the workshop that we did Wednesday. That was a lot of great information, a lot of programs moving forward. We've got some other things going on. All the campuses have various things between the R.J. Willem Tribes and the Kubitschek Safety Patrol, and junior high and high school all have programs that are ongoing. I want to see those get off to a real good start and good success. There's some safety and security parent surveys that are being implemented that will be going out in the future. One thing that I would like to touch base on just a little bit is the communication. You know, we heard you loud and clear early on after the May 18th incident that communication could have been better. We had a situation that's been referenced several times with a texting incident recently. When the district was made aware of that incident, the threat assessment team immediately went to work, and things were handled the way they were supposed to be handled. Communication was sent out to those that were involved and ultimately to the staff and everything else. One of the things that seems to be very misunderstood is what type of information this district can release when it comes to minors. There are very few things that we can release. We took the action that we could legally take. If people have issues or questions with that, number one, you need to understand both the federal and state mandates that we are operating under when it comes to minors and the information that can be released. And we are not the people that you should be talking to about that.
That's right. It's only the wrong
The
information that was given out that we
government,
should be addressing it.
the
That's all.
district attorney went on public and explained why he didn't accept charges. And again, I don't think he's the person to be talking to at this point in time about that. The people that make the laws are the ones. So before you go out there with a lot of ideas, recognize what we are restricted by and what can be released and not released.
And correct information.
And we will put out information as best we know it, when we can, and what we're allowed to do by law. We cannot discuss the punishment of these kids or any other kids, for that matter. We will do what we can do, but there is a huge misconception that you can just expel kids from school or force them to another district or whatnot, and that is not the law. We cannot do that. As bad as that sounds, we cannot do that. So just understand, when you're challenging the administration or the board, why aren't these kids expelled forever or sent to another district? We cannot do that. We're trying. A lot of things are happening. There are a lot of things in place right now. There are a lot of changes being made, not only in safety and security, but in academics. We had a workshop Wednesday night where we listened to 2.5 hours of things that are being done differently, many of which started late last year after some assessments, not the state assessment, but some own internal assessments and outside auditors that we had. There are things taking place. We will get there. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor, raise your hand, and we are adjourned.